Right.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So, as if American politics couldn't get more fucked and stupid and strange, after Biden's gaffe, where he called Trump his vice president and then called Putin his vice president, Trump has an assassination attempt on his life. Not only that, after the shots were fired and the threat was seemingly over by rooftop snipers or whatever happened, Trump got up and fist pumped in the air. You can't make this shit up. This shit is crazy. So, as if it weren't already obvious, like, Biden's brain is obviously jelly at this point. He's got some sort of dementia going on. He is not far off a vegetable. He's not far off dying. Like, in my own personal life, the last time I saw someone like this, like, shaking and, like, not that intelligible, they weren't far off dying from old age. Biden's about there now. There was pretty much no way he was gonna win re-election. Like, the Democrats are fucking stupid for, like, voting for him in the first place, like, given how, like, disastrous he obviously was and then turned out to be, like, to the point where he, like, is deliberately responsible for October 7 and continuing wars in the Middle East by, like, unfreezing Iran's funds, allowing them to, you know, commit to a proxy war, and of course his disastrous pullout of US troops in that region and US presence in that region with his Afghanistan withdrawal, and on top of that, leaving a ton of military surplus money, guns in Afghanistan during the stupid, like, pullout. Like, he's obviously responsible for Iran's continued proxy war, the predictable forthcoming war between Israel and Hezbollah, which seems to have petered out after Israel hit that Hezbollah leader. But, you know, it's probably not over yet, because Iran's probably going to turn up the volume again if it doesn't peter out after this. After all, their proxies have just had pretty much all their leadership killed. Yeah, like, Biden's responsible for all of that. Unfreezing funds to Iran and then, like, harming the region by pulling out disastrously and leaving a ton of military gear there. So, like, he was obviously, like, a bad candidate, right? And, like, he was never going to get re-elected after that simple fact. Not only that, but, like, he's also, hired, like, 90,000 IRS agents, and he's calling them jobs, even though IRS agents are, like, government jobs, and their purpose is to, you know, remove money from businesses that actually make money. So, like, facing down that, it was always, you know, kind of obvious that Trump was probably gonna win. Like, Democrats are fucking stupid, but I don't think they're that stupid, right? So, assassination attempt on old Trumpy. Yeah, Alex Jones called it. Alex Jones called that ages ago. He called it on Crowder's show, and he called it on his own show, I'm pretty sure. He was expecting an assassination attempt. Alex Jones was right again. And, like, the shooter got killed super fast. Like, almost suspiciously fast, right? Yeah, like, they didn't get Oswald, like, for a while. But they managed to shoot this shooter, like, straight away, as soon as the shots were fired. My guess is they didn't want him, like, alive at all, whoever it was. There was rumours circulating, I don't know if they're true or not, that it was, like, Antifa involved, which wouldn't fucking surprise me at all, given how much they call Trump Hitler and Trump a fascist and all that sort of thing. Their name is literally anti-fascist, even though they are basically Hitler's brown shirts at the moment in terms of, like, political violence and political repression. They're literally burning cities down over, race Marxism, when, like, a drug dealer's shot, or a drug dealer, does his speedball really quickly to hide it from the cops and then overdoses and then dies, or fights cops and then has excited delirium and then, dies, is, like, positionally asphyxiated because they're excited delirium, like that sort of thing. Like, they'll burn, like, cities down over that. Not to say anything about their, ideas of redistribution and that sort of thing. But, like, it's pretty obvious that, those would be the ones behind it, right? Like, them... Well, they're practically indistinguishable from, the regular Democrat Party now, right? Like, the Democrat Party basically supports them. The four or whatever they're called, AOC and Ilhan Omar, they're like anti-Jew, Islamo-fascist, support for Antifa, Marxist fist, the whole deal with it. The whole US subversion is basically the Democrat Party at this point. So, like, it was pretty predictable, I guess, that they were going to, attempt to assassinate Trump. But what completely blows me out is, like, the shots, we don't even know who the shooter is yet, right? But the shots have only just been fired, and you have Democrats saying it was obviously Trump supporters. Like, that's fucking insane. Or that he somehow staged the shooting in order to make himself more popular. Like, neither of those make any fucking sense if you know anything about guns. What, you're going to hire a street marksman. That marksman is going to shoot Trump's ear, and only his ear. He's going to miss his head by, centimeters. And he's going to do this for political propaganda. Like, how could that be staged? That's fucking retarded. If that bullet was, 2 centimeters off, Trump would have a bullet in his fucking head. Like, that is just the stupidest conspiracy theory shit ever. Apparently 2 people in the crowd were shot. One was killed, the other one's pretty badly injured. I'm pretty sure they got shot in the forearm or something. Which, that sounds to me like someone in the crowd saw the assassination attempt coming and intervened. That's what that seems like to me. And then rooftop snipers got them, I think, because they said like the assassin was shot and killed at the scene. Like, I'm pretty sure that's very lucky and very convenient for the Democrat Party that they were shot and killed at the scene. Like, I can only imagine the shit they would have said had they been taken alive. Yeah, like, it's very CIA convenient that they were killed at the scene, I'll just say that. But, like, in terms of timing, it makes sense that the Democrats might try to assassinate Trump. Like, Biden's basically just shit himself on, like, live on air, like, confusing names with, like, Trump and Putin. Like, his brain is obviously jelly. Like, he had the disastrous debate performance. He's looking really, really old. Like, multiple times he's looking really old. He's already got a history of complete failure in the government. Yeah, like, at this point, the only other candidate that is, you know, running successfully is going to be Trump. So Trump is probably going to win it. So it makes sense that they would, you know, try to assassinate him. But the theory that Trump staged it, like, just makes no logical sense either. Like, Trump was already way ahead, right? Why would he risk having a bullet so close to his head that it grazed his ear, could have killed him, in order for an additional lead which he does not need at all? Like, that makes fucking no sense. But, like, you know, leftists are pieces of shit anyway. Like, to make that up straight after an assassination attempt, and then to try and blame it on, like, Trump supporters after that. Yeah, that's just fucking absolutely insane. Like, obviously no, right? Obviously no, like, off the bat. But, like, okay, so next step from here, I reckon the Democrats are gonna sort of uniparty with the Republicans a little bit, and I bet you they're gonna make as big a grab for guns as they can get after this, because this is like pure gun control propaganda, right? They are going to make a grab for guns. I reckon it's going to be sort of unified, sort of uniparty behavior, and I reckon that's going to be fucking really bad for humanity when they do that. Like, having the government be the only ones with guns is the fucking worst idea ever. Like, you gotta act under the assumption that the government has killed more people than anything else, pretty much, in terms of man-made famine, political repression, that sort of thing. To have them have a monopoly on force that is completely unchecked, with an already corrupt government in there that is attempting to assassinate and persecute political rivals, you would have to be an idiot to go for that shit. You would have to be really stupid to go for that. To outsource your own power and ability to protect yourself and provide justice for yourself to an obviously corrupt authority has, you know, historically it's proven to be a bad idea, but, like, people are fucking idiots. Like, I don't know where you're gonna go from there. But yeah, where do we go from here? Like, if like Trump's base is police and military, you now have corrupt assassination attempts on his life. Is there going to be any, like, blowback from the base? Or have we all been conditioned to be so, like, learned helplessly that, like, we're not going to do anything about it? We're going to say, okay, they didn't manage to kill him, so, yeah, everything's fine. Even though, like, could have killed him. Very easily could have killed him. Bullet was centimeters away from killing him. Centimeters away from going into his fucking head. Like, the intent to shoot him in the head was not what failed there. In fact, like, that they managed to maintain their aim and get so close to his head with that bullet should tell you how serious these people are. And given Trump's, you know, base support in military and police, I can't imagine, like, that there's going to be, like, zero repercussion from this. There's probably going to be, like, violence from this, right? Yeah. And, like, Trump's base is also Republicans, and they're also, you know, gun rights people. So you're probably going to have a fair bit of political violence now, right? Like, the right's been very, very good. They've been very quiet, considering what they could do. Like, leftists have, you know, always been spastic. They fucking burn cities down over race Marxism and bloody put in policy that allows, you know, people to rob shops indefinitely without any repercussions. But, where are we going to go? Like, the political side of the aisle that's actually capable of assassination and violence, not, you know, street violence, brown shirt intimidation, that shit. We're talking hunters here. Hunters that can make shots at distances, right? We're talking about ex-military personnel that understand if they want to get away with it, they've got to, you know, use subsonic rounds, silencers, internally suppressed guns. You got to have a base from cover, sort of like the DC sniper. Like, the side that understands all these things and, you know, has working skills in those areas of being able to shoot and kill people, like the ex-military people, they're all Trump's base. Like, even the active military that thinks Biden's a fucking idiot for his, like, you know, Afghanistan pullout and all that sort of thing, like, how are they going to react to this? Like, what's the next step going to be? Is there going to be some sort of military coup here? Like, Biden's fucked. Like, he's not mentally capable of, like, leading America. Like, every one of his policies has been disastrous. Like, post-COVID, when they were recovering economically, his decision to put on, like, what, 80,000 IRS people in order to collect tax revenue rather than, you know, provide subsidy to failing business from government policy. Like, that is so clearly, like, anti-working class. I'm surprised the left supported him after that, but, you know, the left's fucking absolutely retarded. That is failures that have directly led to wars we're now supporting, like, everywhere supporting them, even Australia's, like, supporting them. He turned basically all the way back into the UN and NATO, despite the UN directly funding Hamas with global taxpayer money, giving them the money they needed to, you know, build tunnels and bunkers under civilian infrastructure, which they then use for human shields, somewhat willingly by the Palestinians, I might add. Palestinians who, by the way, are not innocent. If you're cheering a rocket strike going from Gaza into Israel, if you're underneath it watching the rocket go overhead and chanting into a phone camera, Allahu Akbar, God is great, while doing that, you're not an innocent civilian. I would consider you like a collaborator at that point. Yeah, but, like, what happens next? Do we get reprisal from the right? Do we get assassination attempts on Democrat senators and everything that have been, labeling Trump as a fascist, backing like anti-fascist movements, particularly if the shooter is found to be an Antifa member. Like, are we going to get reprisal from the right? Because already the three-letter agencies and shit have proved themselves utterly corrupt. Like, all this persecution of Trump in the first place for, like, hush money, when, like, no other previous president has done it. And look, previous presidents have done worse. Like, Joe Biden in office has done worse. His fuck-ups led to, like, what? October 7th, so you're talking what, like more than 1,000 civilian casualties, more than the subsequent knock-on effects of Israel going into Gaza is another 20 to 30,000 civilian deaths? Well, I shouldn't say civilian deaths, they're probably not that high. Like, those are Hamas numbers, and like, there's a lot of verbal propaganda around Israel versus Hamas. They'll use the term Palestinian death, and the term Palestinian death seems like Palestinian civilian, even though they might be like a collaborator who is working in tandem with Hamas, or it might be, you know, a direct Hamas militant. Like, all of those things fit under the definition of Palestinian. So, you know, that's the propaganda term here. But there's like a ton of that misleading shit on the left where they throw in terms like that. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen now? They might finally declare Antifa as a terrorist organization, which it has been, by the way. You want to talk about political violence, beating in the streets of, like, Trump supporters being shot in the streets. You want to talk about that sort of shit. Like, even minor assaults, like fucking spitting on people and stuff like that. Like, it's obviously Antifa. And, like, Antifa, they've jumped on board with all the bloody Islamo-fascist Palestinian support, even though, you know, that would directly be supporting a global caliphate, which is against all their gay values, all their feminist values, like.
This place is.
But yeah, the left is. They're fucking retarded. Yeah, and of course, this failed assassination attempt is failed, so they can't even get that right. Jeez, could you imagine if they were competent? We would, like, be under a totalitarian society already if they were actually competent. But, you know, it's a good thing they're not, I guess. Something else was crazy, though. There were some headlines from some media organizations that were saying, Trump has fallen down on stage, rather than, you know, attempted assassination attempt on Trump, and he he dropped to the ground to dodge the bullets. No, it was fallen down on stage. We have a real issue with political bias in the media these days. Like, a very, very serious leftist bias in media. Particularly in Australia. Like, Australia's media is fucked. But, like, just to summarize, how bad is the left now? They are literally, as if political persecution of a political rival was not enough with all the, you know, the Trump shit they're going after him with. All the Stormy Daniel payoff, which, like, does it even fucking matter? Like, if that weren't enough, now we have active assassination attempts on political rivals. Like, that's the left. That's the current left. They're fucked. They're the worst. Like, I don't know why you would ever vote for that shit ever again. You want to talk about free and open, like, democracy. They're actively subverting that with violence. Like, And not just like political violence there. You've got political violence in the street against Trump supporters, like beatings and all that sort of shit from Antifa. You've got them literally burning cities down in the name of, you know, race Marxism. Like, it's obvious that they're the bad guys. Like, it should be fucking obvious to anyone that they're on the wrong side of history, right? Like, if you have a look at the lineage of the evil sides of history, they're the ones that have been doing political violence, censorship, arguing for censorship, political repression by controlling Google and all that sort of thing, search results, cancel culture. Like, they're obviously the evil cunts of history, right? Like, at this point, I don't think you can deny it. That's like a direct, like, lineage. That's like direct continuation of, like, Stalin and Maoist era policy, with, like, cancel culture being the Cultural Revolution light, and the online censorship attempts, especially by, like, our Australian government, to, like, censor that Maria Emanuel stabbing. Like, that was fucking shit. Like, they were only attempting to censor that to try and protect their absolutely fucking moronic mass immigration policy. Like, where they were, like, fucking directly allowing, like, immigrants from, like, Pakistan. There was even talks there that they were going to get a ton of refugees from Gaza, refugees from, like, Islamic theocracy and all that sort of thing, that have less than zero intention of integrating. Their intention is not to integrate. It is to conquer and form a global caliphate and enforce Islam and Sharia law. Like, and they were, like, attempting to censor Marmari stabbing globally because it reflected really badly on their immigration policy. Like, that is a direct continuation from, you know, Stalin-era censorship. Like, they're obviously the evil cunts of history, like, the left. Like, it couldn't be more obviously obvious.
All right.
will be the last thing you see! Start a hunt. Don't let
Shithead!